morning, everyone. I hope you guys are full of energy and passion like I am. I'm here in Chateau d'Aix in Switzerland. It's a beautiful chalet here by a very good friend that is hosting many of us from many countries. We are doing business mastery every year for 12 years now. I've been going to this Tony Robbins event where for 6 days we have the best people in the world around the 7 forces of business enlightening us. And we use this mastermind element to help us challenge each other in our business. So what are the 7 forces of business mastery, the 7 pillars? The number 7, the ultimate outcome of what you want in business is create raving fans culture. Create raving fans is already good because it's not customers, it's not clients. It's like football fans. Like fans, they cheer for you. They raise their flags. They bring referrals. They actively go out of the way. They speak with passion about your product or services and you. So that's what you want. But if you just have raving fans, you're still an operator. You're still the one doing everything. And that can be quite a stressful life if you spend your life operating your business. But if you become an owner, someone that doesn't have to operate, but is working on the business, not inside the business, and can go inside the business and must go in moments where you want to, where you have value to add, but still let the collaborators, the team and the managers and everyone to actually do the work and hire people smarter than you so they do the work, right? So that's why you want a culture. So what's the number one force to get to number 7? You need to start with having clarity of where you are and where you want to go. So you need to know who you are in your essence. Are you someone that is more like an artist, a skilled producer, like me? In case you haven't found out, someone that is just passionate about coaching, about training, about delivering the maximum value to the maximum people and innovating constantly for 20 years now, the products and the impact. And are you more like a leader manager, someone that is maybe not so much crazy about in love with the clients, the customers, the product, but more the process, the system, that is good at managing the resources and making actually artists and skilled producer operate in an efficient way, making the business effective? Or are you more an entrepreneur, someone that is more in there for the money, that has a big vision, that doesn't mind taking huge risk, but just and doesn't mind selling businesses as well? And we all have these 3 dimensions, but we have a core. So because I know my core is artist, in the last decade I have developed a lot my leader manager to be able to, as an artist, step back, not just do everything I want and look at my margins and look at my dashboard, my cockpits, and kind of complement myself with leader managers. I have, invited 2 amazing leader managers here to bring a different view to this mastermind as well, right? And then you have the entrepreneurs. So I still artist at my core, but for 10 years I've been developing more and more my ability to take risk, to be certain in the middle of risk, and to also build systems and invest and take shares in many different businesses around the world. And so this is a bit what we can do as an entrepreneur, right? An entrepreneurial person as well, right? So the number one force of business is know who you are, know what business you're in, what's your business really about, and what business you should be in. You have 2 business to manage, the one you're in and the one you need to get to, because in 5 years, life is changing so much. If you have self-driving cars and trucks, that might happen in 5 years, and then just in the US is like 8 million jobs that will disappear just because of that. And that's like the same as 2008 crisis, all industries together. So that's just one element, one innovation, one industry. If you take AI and quantum computing and everything, it's unpredictable what's going to happen in the world in a few years. So, we really want to know who we are, where we are, what business we're in, and what business we want to get to. We should be in, we want to be in. More energy, want to, right? And we also want to know where we are in the life cycle of business. In the model here, there is 10 steps, from birth to death. So it's like you're an infant, you're a toddler, you're a teenager, you're a young adult, you're in prime zone of maximization, and then you start going to midlife, evaluation, and then you go to aging, and then you go to institutionalization, where you kept alive a bit artificially at some point, as like General Motors or like, you know, these companies, and at some point there is death. So this is the life cycle of every industry, of every business, of every organic thing, every organization, and you and me as well, right? So it's good to know where you are in your life. You know, I'm 39 now, getting to my 40s soon, and yes, I'm getting to prime. You know, I'm really at the top physically, energetically, emotionally, spiritually. Like I have never been even close to where I am today in my life. So every year for the last 20 years has been getting to my prime, so I can deliver more value quickly and I can impact people. But the question is, like, when I get to my 60 in 20 years, will I still be in prime, or will I start going to midlife if we live 120, you know? But the question is, are you going to innovate enough, or are you just going to let yourself go, right? Of course, at the end, you're going to die as a human being, and that's okay. Your spirit will live, but your body will die. But as an organization, some organization can live 400 years. They can innovate enough to be able to stay in prime. The goal is not just get there and die. Like you can innovate enough. Some organizations are really struggling to innovate because once you stay in prime for a while, you get comfortable, right? And you have silos, you have political wars, and I've seen organizations that are in prime but are starting to decline. And that's why you need innovation, managerial innovation products. You need, you know, changes, and it's not easy when you're in prime to have the humility to do that, you know. So why is it important to know the life cycle? This is force number one, which is the video about today. I'm not going to talk about the other ones, but just to give you the importance. How has this helped me? Well, you know, 10 years ago, I didn't know, you know, I still had, in 2014, I still had a management job in a Fortune 100 company, and, you know, and I still had my business on the side, but it was just 2 days a week, 3 days a week. I was a full-time manager managing Latin America business group in the headquarters of PwC, and I was managing these two things at the same time. So my business was just, I was just playing, you know, I was just in bursts in my business. I had 3 years of selling coaching and just selling my time for money, and I didn't have much clarity of why I was in business, who I was, what I wanted, and also understanding the life cycle of my industry. Because if you're in an industry that is aging, it's probably not where you want to put your energy for the rest of your life. You know, it's like if you're in an industry that's still an infant or is just born, like, you know, you might not want to put everything in NFT because it's just the big thing, because it's like what happened to NFT now, you know? So it's like, you don't want to go too much into just the new thing. But my industry now is the personal development industry, the consciousness raising industry, you know, the industry that education, but the personal self-education, and now more and more the community-based education, I believe is getting to toddler stage. So it's like, and it's interesting, in each one of these 10 places, you can make a parallel with human life in order to understand what each stage is for a business. So you're born when you take a significant risk. For some people, it's quitting their job. For some people, it's taking a loan. It's different for everyone. But there is a birth when you take an amount of risk to start something, right? And then you have an infant, a baby, right? The infant is totally dependent. The infant is like a race for survival. You need to feed it. And like, you know, it requires all your attention and all your time, even more than you can give. As a father of two, I know, like the first years is like, it's super intense. You don't sleep. You don't manage to have enough time to build your business. You're like so much tension, even to like basic needs. You know, sometimes you can't shower for a while. This is what happened as with two young kids, at least. And like, it's extremely intense. So you understand that this is the infant stage. So it's normal that at this stage, your business totally depends on you, and you need to feed it all the time. And, you know, it doesn't have any reward at this time. It doesn't say, I love you, thank you, gratitude. It's just a pride of ownership. I have children, you know, you love them and you pride. And same for the business, but you don't get much rewards from that. But then you get to toddler. That's when you hire someone, or the business starts working a bit without you. Some of the people do mistakes that can cost you something. So it's not just you anymore. And that's an interesting stage, right? I've been there with many enterprise and business, and that's where many people die there, because it's hard, you know. Many people die as well in infancy. 96% of business die in 5 years. So it is a gladiator game, right? But once you go through infant, you get to toddler, the business moves. And if you're successful in toddler, in infant and toddlers, the biggest issue is cash flow. You're like in a race for survival. When you get to teenager, cash flow is not an issue anymore. Teenager is like when you're like, you found a product, you found an offer that has a product market fit, and the business is growing. So cash flow is not an issue. Like your revenue is coming and the business is growing like crazy. You're just fighting to maintain the website alive and to deliver to the client. Super exciting phase. But in this phase, many business die as well because you're growing like crazy, you're investing everything, and you're not looking at your margins and profit. And that's where you need the things that get you to teenager. As an entrepreneur, I believe, is like conviction and going for it. And people say it's not possible, it's not going to work, and you go for it anyway. This is what kills you as a young adult if you don't learn to step a bit back as a founder and hire a professional management team and start killing some products and start looking at margins and having cockpits and dashboards and having at least a part-time CFO, or like, make it a real business. And then if you do that well, you can get to prime, right? Where it's like your business is maximizing its impact and in the world and its value to the clients and his profitability, if that's what you want, So this is the journey. This is an exciting journey. I hope this video was useful to you, a bit longer than usual, but you can see there's passion there about this subject. Every year I come back to it and I refine more. And we have 20 speakers, expert in force number 2, which is innovation, product innovation, strategic product innovation. And force number 3, which is about world-class marketing system. And number 4, which is about world-class, constant and never-ending improvement, sales organization, sales mastery. And then you have the 5 power of legal and financial anticipation. And you have number 6, which is optimization and maximization. This is super. That's what we're going to do today. We're going to look at our business and see how we can increase it by 30%, any business, just by having 10% more clients, 10% more product price or margin, and 10% more clients buying more of your bigger package. Or, one thing is increasing the price and one thing is increasing the repurchase. So with these 3 compounded, it's like 30% growth like this, any business. Some business give 150% is totally feasible for most businesses, and even 1,000% we've seen here every year. Thousands of people are here with us virtually in a hybrid projector setting here. So this is my message to you today. Very businessy, very passionate. I hope it helps you. Much love, everyone.